Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and welcome to Friday. We've made it. What a day. What a cold day here in Ligonier and Johnstown. It was cold all day. I hope you're warming up better than we are. Um, but really not too bad. Sorry, I ate right before stuffed in food. Andrew made some wonderful fried rice, and I couldn't resist. So, yeah, how's everyone doing out there? If you're out there, say hi. I see Marianne's here. Hello, Marianne. Happy Friday. Um, it has been a day of chills. I've been cold all day. Can't seem to get warm. I'm under my blanket here. I'm at the house. I didn't realize it. This is the first time that I have been, that I have done a live in the house since the Creative Make-Along. So, like, all last week we were at the cottage. Well, all this week except for today. I was going to do this from the cottage, but the store was chilly today and I couldn't get warm all day. I was like, I turned up the heat. I still wasn't running around trying to, do some exercises. People think I'm probably crazy if they look in the store windows. Um, I'm in there doing my squats and trying to stay warm. I should have brought a little heater up there. Andrew did find a little heater and it's at the cottage, but I didn't grab it this morning and I should have. I wasn't thinking. But um, I was going to do it there at the cottage, but it's chilly at the cottage too. And I was like, I cannot stand to be cold anymore. So I came home and um, I had to get ready for Andrew's drop. I'm going to show you his pendants. So if you missed the drop tonight, a few of you have not missed the drop. A few of you have gotten things in the drop already. So thank you so much for that. But we're going to show you all the pendants tonight. Andrew made some tagua nut laser etched pendants with his uh, artwork on them. And so he priced them really well. He priced them only at $14. So they're really inexpensive. Some of his drops, the things are a little bit more expensive. This is a pretty easy to grab drop. Um, $14 per pendant. Really good deal. Really excellent laser quality he got on these. He took the time to really try and perfect the etching on these. Some of them came out too dark, and so we didn't put them up, but he finally got the settings just right. It takes a while, y'all. It takes a while to get everything going. And so he got the settings right, and we have these lovely pendants for you. If you missed them, go over to allegorygallery.com and check them out. They're right on the homepage, and great deal. This is also called sometimes vegetarian ivory or vegetable ivory or vegan ivory, the tagua nuts. And because they look like an ivory, like Andrew wrote in his post, they're kind of like a scrimshaw feeling to them. And I think people are going to love them. So if you didn't grab yours yet, please do. Susie's here. Hey, says you need Barnaby in there with you. I know. I had Gilbert. I had Gilbert for a while, but I kept going in and out. And Gilbert gets nervous if he gets locked in a room. Which, hey, I'd get nervous if I got locked in a room too. But I kept going in and out and shutting the door so no one else would come in, and he had enough, so he ran out. But I did have him for a little bit, but I wasn't ready. I came up with everything. I'm like, am I forgetting anything? No, I've got everything. I came up, I sat down, I have my bag of things, I have his pendants. I didn't have my phone to go live with. I didn't have my computer to check any of the comments with. I tell you, y'all, it's something else some days. Sorry, I shouldn't have eaten right before, um, but I did. So sometimes it sticks in my throat a little bit. Um, so how's everyone doing out there? Marianne, you had a lazy Friday, I see. So my Friday was very lazy. That's good. It's nice to have a lazy Friday. Hey, Amanda. I'm glad we can catch you here this evening. Usually we see you in the afternoons. We don't see you too much in the evening. How's it going? How's the weather? Our weather, it went from like 70 yesterday to I think it feels like I think it said it feels like it's 43, I think now it's saying. Is that right? 42 feels like 38. Yes. But we're supposed to have today and tomorrow of this, and then we're supposed to get up into at least the 50s and even into the 70s throughout all of next week, and nothing lower than the 40s. So that is awesome after today, after tomorrow. So we'll see. Um, Anna's here. Hello, Anna. Says, hi, I'll miss the last couple of days. I know you did. How are you doing? How are you were having migraines. Was that right? Am I right in that? Um, Anna says, I kept falling asleep at work all day. Oh no. Susie says, I couldn't believe how much it rained last night. I know. Andrew, he was wondering if I was going to make it home. He's like, I thought you were going to get stuck up there. It was raining so hard. Um, I didn't show pictures of it yet. Maybe Andrew posted. I don't know if he did or not. Um, it was raining so much and so hard, it ripped one of our shutters from our windows. We have shutters, they're not real. They don't open and close. They're just like the decorative kind. And they are bolted into the side of our house with bolts about this long. And it ripped one of our shutters completely off the side of our house, bolts and all. Like there are still some bolts left in there, but one of the bolts or two of the bolts I think came out of the wall. It's wild. Um, and of course it broke and shattered when it hit the ground and blew halfway across the yard. So I didn't know that it happened. Andrew said he thinks he heard it happen, but it was before I got home last night. I didn't get home until about 11:30, I think, last night. I was up at the cottage doing some things after the live. Did a few more packages to try and ship out, get the last bit I could yesterday. Um, and uh, but yeah, it ripped one of the shutters off of our, so I have to figure out, we have to try and find shutters that are going to match because our whole house has them around. This was one of the older ones. So apparently at some point the people at our house replaced some of them because there are some that are like there's four. So a set of two, or two sets of two. Um, on the bottom windows, I'm trying to think where I am on that side of the house. And they were kind of discolored and a little yellow, where all the other ones are newer. Or maybe they were painted and these ones weren't for some reason. I don't know. I haven't been up on a ladder to check them out because they're up high. I can't tell if they're painted or not. But the ones down below were a little bit discolored and yellowed, and that's what one of these was. And it just the whole thing just pulled off and then just cracked. With edges cracked off, and it cracked some of the bolts off, and so um, we have to look and try to find shutters now to match, which is just like just not a thing I was hoping to have to do, but it is a thing now that we have to do. And we can't just replace that one, maybe if we paint them. But it's going to look weird. I mean, they already did look weird because there were a total of four, two sets of two pairs of two that weren't colored, that were discolored anyway. But when you're replacing them, you don't want it to look weird, right? Anyway, so that's what happened. But it was raining so much that on my way home, the roads were flooding. The roads were flooding. Um, there's an intersection by our Sheetz gas station where roads come together, and I hit that, and it's just like all this water came up over the car because the water was so high right there. Um, So the store basement had a lot of water in it. So I swept some of that out and around and down to the drain today. because our store, if it rains really hard, the basement does get a little mini river that can go through it. So I had to do that too. Let's see. Andrew is saying, I don't know because the comments, I can't see them. Let me refresh here. Andrew says that side is kind of slopey, so it's not easy to get to. Yeah, it's there's a slope on that side of the house, and it's harder to reach. So we're gonna have to figure out something. We do have a very big ladder that we might have to pull out and kind of balance on. Fun stuff. Um, the beach got flooded, says Andrew. Oh, Ligonier Beach. Wow. Yeah, it was very there was a lot of rain. And Andrew, he's like, I was concerned you were gonna have to stay up there because it was so bad. Um, Apparently there was a lot of wind. I didn't notice the wind so much. I think there was hail. Um, I didn't really hear it hitting the car. I feel like it, but I kept seeing on the road in front of me things bouncing off the road. Um, so I don't know if it was just raining so hard that the hail I really couldn't notice very much. It was tiny, so maybe I just didn't notice it, but I saw stuff bouncing off of the road on my way home last night. So it was really wild. It was wild. Um, and so that I came running into the house because it was raining so hard when I got home still. So I never even noticed if the shutter was on the ground last night. It probably got ripped off then because I think the wind kind of calmed down and the rain calmed down throughout the night. So it must have been like that when I got there. Amanda says it was pretty chilly today, freezing but not windy, so quite nice. Sun came out in the afternoon. That's good. Freezing but not windy. Hey, that's a plus, right? Sometimes we take what we can get. Um, Anna says yes, it was a migraine week. I hope it's easing up for you. Um, I don't know. Uh, weather has been wild lately. Hey, Carly's here. Hello, Carly. Thanks for joining us. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on today. I don't know if it's because um, yesterday was so nice and sunny and today is so gray. I've been super anxious today. I've had like that pit of my stomach anxiety for most of the day. Luckily, we had some friends come into the store to hang out and chat with me today, which was very nice to see them. We haven't seen them since we moved our store in Ligonier. Um, and so they came up and just kind of sat and chatted with me for a while, and it was so nice. And that really helped take my anxiety away for a while. And then they went and had lunch over next door at Jada's, and they said it was really good. So that's good. Len is here. Hello, Len. Thanks for joining us. Andrew says sunny here, but cold. Yeah, I guess it's sunny. Was it sunny? I feel like it was so gray up in Johnstown today. Um, Maybe it was sunny here. It was gray in Johnstown today. There wasn't, I guess there were times when the sun came out, but it was not like it was like an overcast day. Um, and so it just kind of felt like blah. Um, the drive home in parts was a little bit sunny. So I think the sun came out kind of here, probably more than up there. I feel like if Andrew's saying it was sunny here today, because I did not feel that way in Johnstown for sure. How are you doing, Carly? What's going on? When are you coming to visit me? Keep asking. Andrew said, it's always more sunny on this side of the mountain. It's true. Um, it does seem to stay sunnier over here. Uh, in Johnstown, it was not. I mean, like I said, there were moments I think the sun came out and it was bright, but it was overcast. And so I just felt kind of blah today, and had this like feeling. And so I'm kind of like trying to shake it off. And so it's been kind of like that. And I'm kind of ready, to take a shower and cuddle with the cats for a little bit today. We've been pushing very hard this week. Um, we had 2 days for the Total Request Live. Andrew's been working on these pendants and trying to perfect them all week to get them out for today. We did the treasure hunt boxes and got those out. Every one of those has shipped. Um, I checked tracking on all of them today, and it looks like that the majority of people should see them Monday. Um, Pretty much almost everyone should see them on Monday if you ordered them, as well as some other orders that I got out the door as well. Got a lot of stuff going out. We were really pushing this week. Andrew did some stuff at the cottage, um, some cleaning and some organizing, and um, he's been trying to make appointments with people to assist him with doing that as well. Um, and so he has some appointments set up, I think, this coming week to talk with people about possibly helping him out there, which will be really nice if we can get that. I don't know why comments keep not working. Andrew says, I found one that either got dropped on the floor or that the cats knocked down. Yeah, I grabbed them all and put them in a bag one by one this morning. So the cats must have been playing with them because I counted them out as I was going. Because Andrew generally does everything in even numbers. And so I got to 18 and I was like, that sounds right. And that's all there was. But apparently the cats knocked one because there were actually 19 pendants. So one of the pendants did not get into the online store today. So I'll probably take a picture of that and put it in tomorrow, unless um, Andrew said he might keep it for himself. He might make something with it. Um, so who knows? Who knows? I don't know why I keep having to reset my comments over here. Let's see here. Carly says, are you at the shop tomorrow? I'm doing okay. I got some sort of blah health news today. Um, let's see. I think you understand we're just having some chronic health issues too, but overall, I'm doing good, better this week mentally. Sorry, it's a bit of an anxious day for you. Yeah, I am at the shop tomorrow. Um, and I had someone call last week about possibly coming in Saturday morning for a class, or some Saturday morning for a class. They didn't say when. So I'm going to see if they're going to come in tomorrow. But if they don't come in tomorrow morning, um, uh, I don't expect anyone coming in. I don't have anything set up, any appointments set up. So you're welcome to come on over and see. Even if I do have a class, you're always welcome to come over. Andrew says, I made 20, but the 20th one was too dark. Yeah, so he normally works in even numbers. So that's why I thought 18 must be right. It seems right. Um, let's see here. Len says, rainy here, got new meds for Micah to start. Um, and grocery shopping, booking stuff so that I can visit my mom. Nice. Nice. That's all good thing. I know you're waiting for those new meds, so I hope they work. I hope they work better. Andrew says we're thinking of doing more structured classes at the shop. Yes, we are. We are. We're working on trying to. It doesn't seem like we wanted to leave things open ended for people to come in and just make things and learn and not feel like they have to book an appointment or something like that. But I just don't think people are getting it. Um, and so far, we just have drop-in classes. Yeah, I just don't think people. I feel like I don't know. It just isn't. People don't get it. They're just used to like setting up or having a time to come in and do something. So we're thinking about scheduling more like structure classes. Andrew says, I think some folks like structure. Yeah, I think people just because people they're like, really, I can come in whenever. I'm like, yeah, whenever we're open, come on in, we'll sit down at the table. The table's open, we'll sit down and make stuff. But people just aren't, they are not getting that. Some people do and some people like it, but most people are still trying to call ahead or message us or whatever anyway. So I think we just need to set up a structured time for people to come in and take classes. The other thing with that too is I was trying to leave things open-ended so that it was easier for other people, but it also made my schedule harder, because I never know when somebody might walk in for a class, right? So, um, Andrew says, or making appointments. When I tell people to make an appointment, they get offended. Yeah, sometimes that happens too. We've had that in the past. Um, so but it makes it harder on me as well because I could be in the middle of something and somebody might just pop in. Or, if you have any anxiety in you at all, you might know what it's like to sit down and do something and know that at any minute you might be interrupted and have to stop. And it really doesn't allow you to enter like that focus phase, in whatever you're doing. So we're thinking about switching to more structured classes. We've been talking about trying to get Andrew up there for some different kinds of classes, and also bringing in teachers to teach other kind of crafty classes that aren't necessarily bead related, but could be possibly bead adjacent. Um, and so we're looking at all different kinds of things that we could do. And probably partly starting with all that is going to be more structured time slots for classes. Um, I just kind of have to figure out when that's going to be and what we're going to do with that. But that'll also give me time to know that, generally when that time is over, um, I'm not going to have people coming in anymore. Or, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because some people don't like appointments, but some people just want to know that they can come in during this time or that time. Andrew says, I talked to someone about a bookbinding class. She just had a baby, though. That'd be fun. I'd like a book. I haven't done any bookbinding stuff since New York. We had a bookbinder in New York, at the bookstore, the children's and young adults bookstore that I managed, and he was like the real like old world New York bookbinder, like binding books in leather, and he really knew what he was talking about. Um, and it was very interesting to see him and have him talk to people, because the store that I worked for also sold old and rare books, mainly in children's and young adult. And sometimes people wanted to have their books rebound, and or they were book collectors and wanted their collections bound. And so he had a little spot in our store for a while that he did stuff like that. Um, uh, did I say hey Susie? Hey Susie. Um, Anna says, sounds like structure is what you need. Structure could be good, right? Structure can be good. Something's weird with my Facebook. If you're on Facebook out there, y'all, I don't know if your comments are updating or not. Mine are not, and my picture quality on Facebook is kind of terrible. So I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but it is on mine. It's very strange. So if you're looking for people to chat with out there on Facebook, I don't know. YouTube is updating just fine for me though, thankfully. Sorry, I need a drink. So yeah, that is that was my day. I spent time really just Anderson, mine is fine. That's good. Okay. See, your comment mine is fine didn't pop up on my screen at all. It popped up here, thankfully, but if it gets buried, I can't see it. Um, Yeah, so I spent the day chatting with friends for a little while today, and then after they left, I had taken pictures first of all of Andrew's pendants, and then they came in and we chatted for an hour and a half or so. Probably they were there, which was really nice. Just catching up and talking about current events and all that good stuff, or not so good stuff. And then they went and had lunch, and I put the listings for Andrew's pendants into the online store and edited all the pictures for that. And then got that stuff ready, sent out an email, made some posts, and weirdly, that was kind of my day. It takes a good bit to get things in the online store and all that, so that was kind of the day. And then I got home. I stopped at the cottage to pick up stuff to show you all, so um, I didn't have to work from what was here. Although we've got a lot here. but I wanted to find some different stuff. So I got some different stuff for y'all tonight. I think it's some very random stuff again. It's like been the code word has been kind of random, I think, this week. We had the the total request lives, which are always random because they're what you are all looking for. And then I think ever since then it's been pretty random. Anyway, picked that stuff up, came home, uh, got the just in time to get this stuff actually turned on in the online store and make a post on social media about it that we're actually um, that we are actually his stuff is actually live. And then here we are. Got ready for this, ate a little bit. That's it. Had some good fried rice. Andrew made some really good fried rice. Um, with mushrooms, and it was almost like I don't know, there was something different in there. It was really good though. Um, and oh, see, comments are going now, and I can't see. It's hard to scroll on the phone screen. I don't know why this isn't refreshing. It's making me a little bit wild. Jennifer's here. Says, "Hi, folks. I'm at work today by myself. Why not hang out too?" There you go. Right? Hey, if you can, that's good. Andrew said, "I've been super tired this week. We've been really hustling. I haven't had much time to really make a lot." Yeah, Andrew's been trying to squeeze in the making um, when he can. We've been trying to squeeze in more like kind of spring cleaning stuff. And that's another thing that we've been doing is every day trying to take some time to do some spring cleaning. Like yesterday, I did not all of, I did some of the flower beds and tried to clean them out. And that took about an hour to do. We've been trying to spend at least an hour doing extra things around the house is kind of what it is. And been trying to squeeze that into our days as well as do the lives. And Andrew has been doing the lives with me for a lot of them last week. He was in the background for, of course, the total request lives and all that. And so um, he hasn't had as much time as normal to do his work as far as making things because he's kind of been on my schedule a little bit. So he hasn't had as much time to do that. And he mostly was responsible for putting together the treasure hunt boxes. So he was working really hard on that. I helped him a little bit, but I was trying to do some shipping while he was doing that. And so I didn't get to help him as much. So he spent a lot of time doing a lot of that stuff. So, um, but he still put out a good number of pendants, which they are not, you have to babysit the laser with the things. Like people might think, oh, well, they're laser and that's easy. It's not. He had to work with the settings because it's a new material. um, each one is a different thickness, so that's a whole totally different thing for each one, trying to figure out what laser settings to use. And like you said, some of them came out too dark, so we didn't use them. Um, and each one has to be done individually. The laser doesn't, it's harder to line up multiple ones at the same time on something this small because they're small pendants, right? So to make sure the image lines up properly, you do them one at a time. So you have to really babysit it. Hey, Suzanne, thanks for joining us. Good to see you here. Let me go ahead. I'm going to refresh my Facebook because I think Susan's here too. Hey, Susan. Thanks for being here. Good to see you here. Trying to type while getting kneaded and screamed at by Smoky Cat. Seems like that's what happens during the live. Smoky Cat likes to join us for the live, it seems. Susan says it was chilly and sunny today. That worked out well for running errands. That's good. Andrew said it was sunny here and chilly. In Johnstown, it was chilly and overcast. Oh, Andrew said, don't forget to send the tick in. Yes, I have that. I printed out the paper. That's another thing I did last night before I came home, is I filled out the form for my tick that I got bit by yesterday and printed out that form while I was at the shop, not at the shop, at the cottage. And I have that all together, but I've got to get, which I'm going to grab. while we're talking about it, because my envelopes are up here, so I need to put that in an envelope. So I'm going to grab this and set it right here at the edge of my desk. So hopefully I'll remember to take that down so that I can actually do something with it and send it in and get it tested. Susan says, I have no clue why he does that. He just likes to be with us, right? Um, I it's funny, sometimes people say that their cats are starting to learn my voice, and they know that it's time when they hear me on their computers or on their phones, and, that's kind of cute, to think that I'm calling the cats in when people hear my voice. We're building the cat army. Um, Len says, plus the time editing the art in the computer and sizing things to scale. Yes, that is a big part of it as well. And that's why you really can't do more than one because um, though it's supposed to, if you have a full board of material, it can line it up fairly well and it can do multiple things. But if you're positioning the artwork on one thing, you've got to get the size right, you've got to get the positioning right, and it can only focus on one area. So we focus the laser on that one pendant. If you focus it on a pendant and you have three pendants, these two on the outskirts of the focus area might be off center. And we've learned that the hard way. So every pendant is done by itself. Susan says that may be true. I'm calling the cat army, right? Um, Cinnamon has brought a t-shirt for the live. She lays on it and then kicks it. That's super cute. Suzanne got into the mid 80s today. Oh, that's too that you know I don't want that, but I also don't want necessarily what we had today. It set a high of 58. Never once today did it feel like 58. I think it was a feel like 46 or something like that when it was at the high today. Um, the store was chilly for me today. Um, and I don't know why, because I turn up the heat says it's turned up, but there's a draft. It feels like a draft. I feel like the store was meant to be a grocer and a deli, and it stays chilly like it's a grocer or a deli. That's all I can say. It definitely has that vibe to it. Um, uh, let's see here. Hey, Leslie, thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. How's everybody today? What'd you have for food to eat? I had the fried rice Andrew did, but I want another bowl. I already want another bowl um, because it was good. Last night, Andrew made split pea soup and cheesy bread, and it was so good. Um, but we have leftovers, and I'm tempted. But Andrew made the rice. He's like, so we don't have to have soup, multiple times in a row. And I'm like, maybe I still want some soup though. No, but the rice was good too. So now I'm craving both. I'm just hungry, I think. I think I'm just hungry is what it comes down to. And Andrew's food was so good in both cases. Len had leftover pizza. What was the pizza? What was the topping? Um, Andrew says it's just the brick and like concrete tiles with plaster on top. Yeah, that's what the store is. And so it stays chilly. That's nice into the summer because it does stay cooler as long as you don't open the door too much. You can keep the inside cool for a while. Um, but once the warm weather starts to come in, it makes you want to open the door, right? You want to have the door open so it feels welcoming to people, and it's just nice to have fresh air. So it ends up warming up, and then you got to turn on the air conditioner, and all we have is a window air conditioner, so it's super loud, and then you got to listen to that. um, so then you've got that to deal with, but um, so it's never it's only perfect when it's like 70. So let's just let it be 70 all the time, and then that'd be good. Jennifer says, you were so fortunate to have such a good cook in your life as Andrew. Me, I know. I know. Andrew, Andrew cooks very well. He cooks very well. Definitely soup weather. It is soup weather today. Yesterday was not so much soup weather. It was warm. I was outside sweating. I like had 3 layers on. I'm like down to just one shirt by the end of it and sweating through everything. But I still ate the soup and it was still good. Still dang good soup. Leslie hasn't had anything. I'm in the middle of processing 30 plus orders. Oh, nice. That's nice. I like it. Good job. Process those orders. Um, Suzanne had vegetable risotto with strawberry gelato for dessert. Now that sounds delicious. Um, I could go for some strawberry gelato right now for sure. Something fruity sounds really good right now. I'm kind of craving it. Andrew has been eating dried fruit all week. I have not had any fruit. Normally, I try and keep bananas and apples in the house at least. Um, at least bananas, because that's kind of my go-to kind of breakfast thing. Like, I don't eat breakfast. We generally don't. We're trying to be better about eating at least breakfast or lunch. But usually, I try and keep bananas in the house so that I can have like something, right? Some kind of something to eat. And it's quick to go and I can eat it in the car as I'm driving to work, um, whether it's the cottage or whether it's the store. But I haven't had anything all week, and so I've kind of been craving my fruit, but I didn't pick any up today either. Marion says cheesy bread sounds good, but I would want a different soup. I don't eat a lot of split pea soup, but this was good. This was very, very good. I don't know what he put in it, what he did to it, but it was good. It was good. It had I don't know, it had a brightness to it, which sometimes I feel like split pea soup does not. It was good. Um, Andrew says, part of me wants to take Sunday off to go to Pittsburgh to see the new craft market. Is that Sunday already? Maybe. Maybe we'll see what we can do. Um, we'll see if it gets busier this weekend. I don't know. Um, because it was dead today in the store. I didn't have anyone else come in but our friends who had planned to come up anyway. Um, so no one else even walked in the door today. I don't know if the cafe across the street was very busy or not. Um, I didn't get a chance to kind of take a look or stop over today, but I felt like it was a slow day. I didn't see many people out walking. I didn't see kids playing. Usually the kids are at least playing. I didn't see much of anybody out and about today. Um, Susan said I had frozen pad thai, Trader Joe's. Very good. And now I'm having a vanilla iced coffee that stayed in the freezer too long. It's drinkable now. Nice. Um, Len says it was free, so it was a supreme. Sometimes people gets pizza from work, left from events. Nice. Um, Susan says Andrew's a phenomenal chef. Yes, he is. He's good at it. Let's see here. Marianne said pizza again. Um, da, da, da. Leslie says, I think a couple are due to you. Good. I hope so. I hope we can send people over your way. That's the whole point, right? Share the love. Um, Sue says, that was one thing from my old job that I enjoyed. Free food, for sure, right? Leslie says, bananas. Andrew says, you like the bananas too green for me. Yes, my bananas have to be still a little bit green. I like them because they are bright. They have that brightness. They have that almost sour still taste to them. Um, once a banana goes yellow, it's all right. I can deal with it. If it starts to get like a little brown, even like a spot or two of brown on the outside, it's too ripe for me. I don't like it anymore. I will sometimes eat them, um, but they have to have green. My bananas have to be pretty green. Um, it's the only way I like them. And I know they're not supposedly as nutritious that way and all that stuff, but it's the way I like my bananas because they're still a little tart and I like them that way. Um, Andrew says it's happening now, the craft show. Okay. Um, Marion says, I just don't like the texture of split pea soup. This just was just like a soup. I don't know. Maybe Andrew made it different than how it's normally made. I don't know. I don't have split pea soup often enough to know what the texture of split pea soup normally is. But this was just like soup. It was like kind of between a soup and a stew. Um, it didn't seem much different than anything to me. Um, Andrew said apple cider vinegar is the secret ingredient. Oh, in the soup. That makes sense. Because it was a little bit, I don't want to say sour, but kind of. That made it so good. Because I like the little bit of sour taste in stuff. Susan says, I never liked peas until I had some friends' homegrown peas, which were delicious. Um, yeah, I do like homegrown peas, but sometimes homegrown peas are almost too green, if that makes sense. Like it took me a while to get used to homegrown beans and stuff because I was used to eating, like when I grew up, my mom always bought frozen vegetables and they have a particular taste, right? When they're done. I think they're generally better than canned vegetables but that's because I grew up on the frozen vegetables. So that's my experience with them. My mom didn't like canned vegetables, so we always had frozen. And um both my grandmothers had gardens, and when I would get like fresh green beans, I always thought they were almost too green, for lack of it, like too, I don't know, that green vegetable taste. It took me a while to be able to appreciate peas and beans and stuff like that. Somebody's trying to get in my door here. Andrew says, green bananas make my tongue itchy. I can see that. They kind of do that to me a little bit because yeah, yeah, I get it. It's not too much, but they do that to me. It kind of makes your mouth like that extra clean feeling. Like, I don't want to say an astringent, but it's kind of makes your mouth feel like that a little bit. But I don't like bananas when they taste ripe. I don't know why. Len says, me too on the fresh bananas. Yep. Susan's not crazy about bananas. They give me indigestion. Really? That's that's huh. Usually they help me. Um, like if my stomach's upset, I'll eat a banana to help kind of coat my stomach, and I feel like that's kind of what they do for me. Like if I take my vitamins and medicine in the morning, that's another reason I like bananas in the morning is because I take some vitamins sometimes and it upsets my stomach because it's too, when you take too many vitamins, sometimes it does that. And sometimes I take a lot of vitamins. Um, and so bananas help kind of calm that down for me. I'd be sad if they gave me indigestion. Marion says yes to greenish bananas. Yeah, it's the only way. Um, Susie had pierogi, halushki, and fish from the fire department Lenten menu. I do miss a fish fry. Pierogi and halushki sounds good. Andrew says, I didn't blend the split pea soup. Okay, so normally it's blended. I thought it was normally like a thicker soup, but it was kind of more soupy than what I imagined. Because like I said, I don't know if I've had split pea soup that much before. Um, Amanda says, I like bananas like that too, William. It's better for me because of the high resistance starch. I've never heard of that reason. What does that mean? Um, because I'm wondering if I just naturally like that better then, or if I'm naturally drawn to that. Like ever since I was young, I've always tried to listen to my body for things that I want to eat. Like, of course, junk food is junk food, right? You're eating junk food because you're addicted to sugar, pretty much, right? Or or the candida in the bread, or that, like, that kind of stuff. But like, sometimes I get cravings for particular things. And, if I got cravings for meat, or when I was young, or certain things, I was like, maybe I need the iron. Maybe that's what my body's telling me. And I feel like our bodies tell us, if we listen, in a lot of ways, what we really want. If we can get past the the cravings of the sugar and that kind of stuff. And even then, I think sometimes we need that too. Um, but I think our bodies can tell us if we listen to the things that we're kind of trying to be hungry for, and what they're trying to say. Like Andrew, when he's hungry for fruit a lot, he's like, maybe I need some vitamin C. And I think our bodies do that. And so I'm wondering, like, the way we prefer foods, if it's our body's way of saying we're lacking in this, and this is what we prefer, what we need to function better. So I don't know what the high resistance starch is. And we're back, everybody. So, of course, that was around the 48, 49-minute mark. Anyway, Andrew says, too delicious, LOL. Marianne says, I do not like frozen beans, but other veggies are good frozen. I like frozen beans too. Um, Andrew said, fish fries here are a big deal. There's even a local app covering them. Wow, that's cool. Here they're a big deal because they all the volunteer, well, many anyway, many of the volunteer fire departments, because our fire departments are volunteer around here. um I don't think that's the case everywhere, but ours are volunteer fire departments. And so it's a big fundraiser for them. So fish fries around here are a big deal because they're generally hosted by the fire departments, and it's a fundraiser for them. Andrew says split pea soup can get thick. I don't know how it'll be tonight or whenever. Yeah. Um, Len says, but we also graze when we don't feel well, like dogs eat grass. It's true, right? It's true. Um, I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends how I feel. Um, when I don't feel well, I kind of shut down in a lot of ways, and then you get this big boost when you're starting to feel better. Then you want to eat everything. Vicky's here. Um, Vicky says, hi, everyone. I get here and the feed goes down. It's all your fault, Vicky. No, it was just the 48, 49-minute mark. That's all. Vicky, stop breaking the interwebs. I know, right? Yes, I am back. I am back. Um, so yeah, that I don't know. Um, Andrew says, I hate canned green beans unless they're French cut. We were really poor growing up, and sometimes canned green beans were something we ate a lot. Yeah, um my dad's side of the family, when they would have Christmas, or anytime we would eat there, really, they had canned vegetables. Um, so I got some experience with canned stuff on that side, but my mom always used frozen. And I kind of like, I prefer, if I had to choose, I would always choose the frozen vegetables um for most everything. But I kind of like canned green beans. I kind of like them. My mom, um, growing up, my mom would make this snack, and we would just take, um, and it might be disgusting. I don't know. I don't think it is. Um, some people might think so. We took canned green beans, a can of tuna, some cheese, like a shredded cheese, and a Italian salad dressing. And it was kind of just like a snack to eat. And you just mixed it all together and ate it. And but it had a lot of like the kind of, when you need a little bit of protein, a little bit of vegetable, like it was just something we did. And uh I kind of like it because of that. Like it reminds me of that. I can't have tuna now. So I kind of, there are times that I've almost picked up things to make that just out of habit, because it's something I still kind of crave every once in a while. It's just like almost buying a bag of pepperoni because I crave it. Um, but sometimes I just crave like a can of green beans, some tuna, and cheese and Italian dressing. It's such a weird thing, but my mom came up with it, um, and for a long time I would snack on that. Most of the fish fries here, Susan says, are run by Catholics and some Protestant churches. Marion says, I think split pea soup can be mushy. I do not like mushy foods. This was definitely not mushy. There was no mush in this, I would say. Um, Anderson, unless they're canned by a person. Yeah, personal canning is different, right? Personal canning is totally different. Marion says, canned corn is good. Okay. um, Yeah, even my grandparents they planted corn, fields of corn, and we would pick the corn. And even then, um, that my grandmother on that side didn't even really can their own corn that much. She froze her corn. So I grew up even with homegrown frozen corn all the time, um, and hardly ever had canned corn unless it was cream corn. And sometimes we'd have cream corn, and you get the cream canned corn. Um, which I haven't had in, I feel like, in forever now, and I kind of like that too, but, um, I definitely prefer frozen corn over canned corn, I have to say. Um, yeah. Susan says we had canned veggies growing up. A lot of people did. Um, Vicky says canned green beans have a tinny flavor. They do. They 100% do, and that flavor with the tuna seemed to work. Um So I think that's why it made a good combination, because it was just that tinny, and then tuna has that, I don't know. I don't know. Um, um, Andrew says, didn't you know my great grandma got a job in the war canning vegetables? I did not know that. That's news to me. I do not remember any of that story. Um, Susan says, I grew up eating Pop Tarts and Captain Crunch. I sometimes crave those, but I sadly have to walk away from them. Pop Tarts we never had. The only time I ever had Pop Tarts is my cousins would get them sometimes at my grandparents' house. So when we would stay at my grandparents' house, sometimes they had Pop Tarts. And to be 100% honest, they were okay. But unless it was a chocolate one, I didn't really care for them very much. So I never felt like I was missing much on that. And Captain Crunch was not a favorite of mine either. My cousins, again, loved Captain Crunch. But it was never a cereal that I wanted. My cereals growing up were Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Frosted Flakes, sometime and Fruity Pebbles. I loved Fruity Pebbles so much. Um, Sometimes like what was it called? Rice Krispies. The chocolate ones, not the regular ones. Um, and then some of the weirder ones, I had s'mores. I loved s'mores cereal. So good. Um, but yeah, sometimes I miss cereal. Sometimes I do miss cereal. Sometimes I buy cereal every once in a while just to have it. Because I'm an adult. I can have cereal if I want to have cereal. So sometimes I do. Um, Leslie says corn pudding, yum. Corn pudding is pretty good. Yeah. and you use the cream corn for that, right? Like we never really had corn pudding. I didn't have that until later in life. They didn't make that at my family. But my family sometimes would just have cream corn. And you like mostly put it over like mashed potatoes or mix it with something. Um, for those people out there who never mix their foods, you're probably like, I have, I do have some relatives that will not mix their foods. Everything is separated. But I was always big on mixing things up. Marion says, I put canned corn in my veggie soup. I could see that. My grandmother used to do that too. Like I said, her veggie soup was always my grandmother. Both my grandmothers made very good soups and things. And on my dad's side, she made really good vegetable soup, um, and used um, used canned vegetables in a lot of it, I think, but also fresh. She would cut up fresh and use canned and cabbage and all different kinds of things. It was really good. I do miss her vegetable soup. Andrew says they're tinny and mushy. It's true. Amanda says resistant starch in green bananas resist digestion until the large intestine. And now I can't read. Large intestine, where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. In short, it's good for digestion and is lower on the glycemic index. Huh. See that? I've been doing a good thing and didn't even know. Vicky says, I hate walking down the Pop Tart aisle. They whisper my name. Yeah, I don't. I never really had many Pop Tarts growing up. My mom made us toast and stuff, and then and some of the times we had toaster strudels. So we would get toaster strudels and make those. Um, and that's kind of if we had kind of more than homemade stuff, it was often like a toaster strudel, um, or like a Eggos. Sometimes we have Eggos. We couldn't always have that kind of stuff, but when we kind of splurged, we had some of that stuff. Susan says, Vicky, you know of what I speak. Susan says, I like the chocolate and strawberry Pop Tarts. My brother liked the frosted cinnamon variety. I never really tried a lot of them. I think I tried a strawberry one time. I didn't really like it. The chocolate was good. I did like the chocolate. Um, but also I mainly had them not toasted, I think. We just ate them raw. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. Did y'all eat them raw or did you actually toast them? Leslie says, I like Captain Crunch, but was not allowed to have it often. That's sad. Sad times. Andrew says, we used to get off brand Pop Tarts. They never had enough filling and frosting, so they tasted like stale pastry. Oh. Um, Amanda said, there's more benefits like helping you feel full longer. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I guess they say that bananas can actually start your hunger. Like, I guess eating a banana is kind of it can sometimes make you more hungry, but I don't usually feel that way with mine. Andrew says corn pudding from 12 Bones is so good. I bet. Susan says I keep grown up cereal around for a quick and lazy meal. Sometimes I do that. My grown up cereal is pretty much Special K strawberry. I think that's what it is. Special K strawberry, with the dehydrated strawberries in it. That's kind of my grown up cereal. Um, but sometimes I'll get like Fruit Loops just because I can. Not very often. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would love it. When I was a kid, at my grandparents' house, generally, when we stayed over, she would make us like real breakfast. So we would have, like she would make French toast or eggs and bacon and sausage and stuff like that. Um, and or cereal was generally a nighttime thing. It was like a before bed snack, which seems so counterintuitive because it's so just full of sugar. Thinking about it now as an adult, I'm like, that's just like loading up with sugar right before bed. But we would have cereal right before bed. Um, and sometimes cereal and ice cream. That was kind of um, And that was kind of a thing that we did, cereal and ice cream before bed. But, yeah, that's that's my thing. But at home, we would often have cereal before school, so that was a breakfast thing. But, when we were at my grandparents' house, my grandmother wasn't working anymore at that time, so she would get up earlier if she had to. My brother and I both kind of were people who slept in, so she was usually always up before us, but she would start making breakfast for us, and that was kind of nice. Um, Jennifer's replying to Andrew saying, Friendly's made an ice cream sandwich with fudge Pop Tarts and forbidden chocolate ice cream. After having it once at the restaurant, I made them at home. That's nice. Andrew says, my friend Kathy sent me the recipe. Ooh. Suzanne says, I like corn chowder. That's good too. Susan says, I don't like mixed foods. See, some people don't. Some people do not like mixed foods. I kind of do. Um, I have no problem with it. And sometimes I feel like things taste better when they're mixed. Um, but yeah, like I said, my one aunt, she does not like any of her foods to touch. They don't touch. They all get eaten separately. You don't like take a bite of this and a bite of that and put it on the same. No, it's um and that's a thing for some people. I was always one like um my grandmother always made red beets, which were um they were pickled red beets. And of course, red beet juice goes all over everything. And I always loved when the red beet juice like ran into the mashed potatoes or ran into other things because I always thought it tasted so good. But my one aunt, she can't do that. Um, Mary Ann says just corn is canned for mine. Carrots, onions, celery, rutabaga, and potatoes are the main ingredients. Sounds good. Susan says toast is a breakfast basic for me. Yeah, I like toast. We don't actually have a toaster oven or a toaster of any sort, which is so weird because we could really use one actually. I think we have toaster ovens, but they're all used for like polymer clay and um, doing classes in powder coating. We don't actually have a toaster oven for the house. So anytime we have to make toast, we have to start up the big oven, which is probably fine because we make a lot of it at once because we're both eating it. It's not just like I'm making a little bit for me or but it's probably be convenient to have a toaster oven actually. Susan's Pop Tarts have to be toasted for me. See, that's yeah, that's different. Suzanne says, is anyone else getting ads for cat butt hole makeup? No. What in the world? I have not. I'm gonna wait to see in the comments here if anyone else has been getting these ads. Um, but that has not been a thing in my timeline. I think thank goodness. Um, um, Andrew replied to that. I had to refresh to see quickly. He's like, no, but I am getting some wild ads. Andrew is getting some wild. He showed me some of the ads he's getting. I'm like, what is going on? Hey, Kimberly says, was at my son's opening baseball game. I'm probably behind. How far am I behind? I'm pretty far behind. So hello, Kimberly. Thanks for joining us. How was the game? Baseball starting already? I don't know when my nephew starts. Um, I think my two nephews are staying over at my mom's tonight. My niece has a birthday party and then she's staying over at a girlfriend. So the boys are staying with their grandma tonight. And so my mom was running around earlier today getting ready for that. Um, let's see here. It was too cold, so I came home and I'm now watching on YouTube. It is cold. It's too cold. And so I was like, it's too cold to start baseball yet, isn't it? Um, says, can't believe baseball season is starting. I know. Amanda says, a lot of things I liked as a kid are different now and I no longer like them. I don't know. Um, I will say, I feel like cereal tastes different. Like Apple Jacks, I do not think it tastes the same as it used to. Because that used to be like my all-time favorite cereal, and now I taste it and I'm like, this is not so great. What would I ever like about this? Um, but yeah. Um, Marianne says toast and jam wax. Oh, was jam wax. I was like, what is jam wax? Toast and jam was my before bed snack. See, that's a load of sugar too. Um, Henry's up to bat. Got walked. So you're watching it. You're watching the game from home. That's nice. That's nice that they can do that. We don't have that option. Um, we don't have that option where my niece and nephew play. Um, I can watch my niece do ice skating sometimes. The rink does have a camera that follows them, and when he plays hockey in any of those rinks, they have cameras that follow. Andrew says, I've been enjoying the Ensika photos. I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen any of those. I need to keep up with that. That should be a thing I should be doing. Marianne's not a Pop-Tart fan. Let's see here. Susan says, what ads for cat butts? Cat butt what? Makeup. Um, that's because it is different, William. Lately, the ads I get are for handbags and Art Deco jewelry. See, you're getting normal ads, I think, for people. Andrew's ads, apparently Suzanne's ads, not normal ads. Andrew said they've changed some recipes over the years for some of our childhood favorites. I believe they have too. Everything is made cheaper so it doesn't taste the same. That's a good point too, Amanda. That's a good point too. And says nothing tastes the same now. They barely put cocoa in the chocolate anymore, so M&Ms aren't even good. I've noticed that. I mean, I do like M&Ms, but um, Ruby, Travis, the Peters Valley crew, lots of folks are posting. Oh, nice. Nice. Um, let's see here. Kimberly says, we built a new stadium and they put all the tech in. First game in the new stadium. Nice. Andrew says, I do Google random things. Yes. You Google random things, but some of the ad, like, I don't know, Andrew's getting some wild ads. Anyway, yeah, it's been fun chatting about all of our stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on for everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around and get started showing y'all some stuff, or I'm just going to sit here and chat all night because I totally could. Uh, and I feel like that would be nice one of these times just to sit and chat. But I also want to show you Andrew's pendants kind of up close and personal, and also want to pay bills. So maybe you'll like some stuff tonight and help us pay some bills or get ready for some bills that we are going to have to pay soon. And, all that good stuff. Let's see. Sue says, I had a Three Musketeers bar and it was smaller and less fluffy than I remember. That's one of those that I feel like as a kid, like I was never a huge fan of Three Musketeers, but they were okay. And now when I have them, they don't taste right. Like they taste very chemical. I don't know. And I mean, I believe it's probably because that's what's in them. Um, yeah. It's food is not made the same anymore. I firmly believe that. And it's kind of sad. Sorry, I'm just cutting papers. I didn't realize I looked at my stack and I was like, I've got a good stack of papers here. It's not as thick as I thought it was. So I'm just making sure we have enough for tonight. Turning the space heater on, says Kimberly. Yeah, I should have brought up a heater. We don't have a heater. Should have brought home the heater. It's a little bit chilly. But luckily I got my blanket. I'm doing okay. Amanda says, used to like Reese's peanut butter cups, but they taste weird now. I feel like that's true too. I was never a huge fan of Reese's peanut butter cups. I liked Reese's Pieces, and I haven't had those. Do they even make those? I haven't had those in forever. Oh, Henry scored. That's good. Good job, Henry. Good job. Um, but I feel like I haven't had Reese's Pieces in a long time. I was never a huge fan of Reese's peanut butter cups, but like I said, every once in a while, like it'd be good. And now I taste them and they taste like a chemical, or they taste almost too sweet, like weirdly sweet. Um, so yeah, that was, did I miss somebody? Henry scored. Andrew said Three Musketeers was the last candy bar to get eaten from the Halloween candy. Yeah, I was never a big fan of Three Musketeers. Um, I liked Snickers growing up. Mars bars were my favorite, I think, growing up. I loved Butterfingers too. Butterfinger. Yeah, good stuff. Andrew said, I love the cups, but they make me break out. Nothing tastes like it used to, says Amanda. I feel like that's true. I feel like that's true. Kimberly, we had storms roll through overnight. The temps dropped 40 degrees. Yeah, we went way down. We got wild storms last night. Andrew was worried I wasn't going to make it home. We went from 70 to 30. Yeah, we dropped 40 degrees yesterday. And it was beautiful during the day yesterday. So nice. And I really liked it. And then, let me move this out of the way. And let's turn on my lights. And let's flip my camera around. Look at my glow. I've got the glow now. Let's see here. Let me see the ceiling for a moment. Momentito. Back ultra wide. Is that the one? Is that the camera I use? You think I know by now? We'll figure it out. And my camera stand is tied up in the leg of my chair. There we go. Andrew says, I think I might low key be allergic to peanut butter. You used to eat peanut butter out of the jar. Andrew would just eat peanut butter. Andrew's the first person, he used to make he put peanut butter on toast or bread and add a layer of sugar. I've heard of people doing this, but I never actually saw it until Andrew did it. Kim says, oh goodness, that's a big temperature drop. Yeah, it was quite a lot. And then it stormed where we almost had like flooding on the roads. It was really, and I think there's a little bit of hail. I honestly think there's a little bit of hail too. Marion says, yes, Reese's are too sweet. The Reese's cups. Do they still make Reese's Pieces though? I feel like I have not seen Reese's Pieces in a long time. Amanda says, I tried a new to me cookie, Biscoff, and they are really good. I feel like I know that name, but I can't. I've seen that name before. I don't know if I've had them though. Andrew said that's probably why, because of your peanut butter and sugar sandwiches. The other thing I've never actually done is put peanut butter and bananas together. I've never had a peanut butter banana sandwich. And some people love them, I guess. Have you tried them? I've never tried them. Marianne says peanut butter with honey is yummy. I've never had that either. Kimberly says, I used to do that to my toast. I may need to have that now. What, peanut butter and sugar? My grandmother used to make us toast. Aren't these nice? Look how nice these are. My grandmother used to make us cinnamon sugar toast. So she'd make toast, put lots of butter on it. So it would almost be like, it's not soaked in butter, but it had a lot of butter in it. And then she would sprinkle cinnamon sugar that she made. She just combine it herself and make it. And she would sprinkle that on top. And when you bit into it, because there was so much butter, it was toasty and crunchy, but also a little bit soggy, and the butter would like kind of squeeze out of it, but you'd also get it mixed in. That butter would mix in with the cinnamon sugar. That's some dang good stuff right there. Such a simple thing, but so good. Um, let's see here. What are people saying? The Hubs has caught me eating out of the peanut butter jar. I get side eye for doing that. That's funny. Um, Len says gross, but I don't know what part is gross. Um, uh, Kimberly says, Marianne, I love peanut butter and honey. Peanut butter and bananas on toast is so good, says Amanda. I've never had that. Um, Kimberly says, yep, peanut butter and sugar. I don't think I've even done, like, Andrew has done it. I still have never tried it. I've never tried it. Susan's a peanut butter purist. Amanda says, I had a lot of peanut butter and honey toast in my day. I've never had that combo. I love honey. Anna says, I make cinnamon sugar toast regularly. That's something I miss because like I said, we have to fire up the oven to make toast. So I don't make toast very much, or a skillet and get it hot enough and, do the toast in the skillet. So it says, creamy, not crunchy. I used to be a creamy peanut butter person. I kind of like crunchy sometimes now, though. Mary says, we had brown sugar and raisin sandwiches occasionally in our school lunches. Brown sugar and raisin. That's probably okay. Kimberly said, did these sell out? I missed the drop because I was at the game. No, we still have, well, as far as I know, I don't think they all also, I would love to say yes, they all sold out, but I think we still have a number of them available. They're on the website. I think we've sold 6 of them so far, it looks like. So I think there's 10 left. Something like that. We'll go over them here. But they did not all sell out, and they're only $14 each. Anne joined us. Hello, Anne. Thanks for joining us. Prefer crunchy peanut butter. Anne says, I can see we're into the food talk, but I have to say how much I love the Tagua nut pendants. Yes. Aren't these nice? There's such a warm color to them. They definitely look like a scrimshaw. Andrew also engraved his signature in the back, like he's been doing on some of the enamel pendants too. Mary Ann says, personally, I think all the best ones have sold. Come on, they're not all. You just like what everybody likes. You gotta like different things, Mary Ann. Change your tastes, Mary Ann. No, but let me take a look here and see if I can tell you quickly which ones have sold. This bunny has sold. Thank you to whoever grabbed that one. Andrew says, I'm sad that more didn't sell. I know. I thought at $14, these were all going to like sell out real quick. They're only $14. And then, because I was going to price these at 24 a piece, y'all. I asked Andrew today, I said, do you think 24? And he was like, I was thinking more like 14. So he's giving you all a deal on these. This one has sold. Thank you to whoever got that one. The other heron is sold. So that one is sold. Both the herons sold. The hand with the heart locket has sold. The blue jay has sold. And the puppy dog has sold. Andrew says they're made from a vintage necklace. Took a vintage necklace. Mary says, no, my taste is mine. See, your taste is apparently other people's too, if all the best ones sold. Got to be more rare in your tastes. No, I love these. I don't know if Andrew meant them to be pigeons or doves, because they're from the same family, pigeons and doves. but I love these. I love those ones. So those ones are still available. There's the owls. And some of these have more of the tagua nut, the exterior, the darker kind of chocolatey color on the edge, and some don't. So it just depends what you I kind of like that, but I also like I can see how you could like it more pure like that. So the owls are still available. You've got the moth. I love this moth. This moth, though, didn't sell, I don't think, in the enamel either. People don't like moths? What's happening? This bunny is still available. This is the bunny that has less of the outside edge on it. I can't believe this one. Let me look. This one didn't sell? No. Wow. Anne says it's fun how the dark edge looks like a bezel. Yeah, isn't it cool? I love this one. This one also happens to be very thin. Happens to be very thin. Some of them are thicker. This is a very thin one. Nice and thin. Nice. I can't believe that one hasn't sold. Here's this owl. This is this owl, but in two kind of different. Let's see here. Oh, it says, no, they aren't. I just bought two owls and the moth. Okay, let me refresh my page here then. All right, let me, so now this owl has been sold. Thank you so much. This owl, no, this owl. This owl has been sold. Thank you so much. Let me see if anything else. The moth sold. Thank you so much. And make sure I didn't miss anybody else grabbed anything here since we're looking. So there we go. Okay, so now these are available. This is the one that the bird with the little bead in its beak. I think that's really cute. Susan says, I like that flower pendant. Me too. That's one of my very favorites. The flower with the eye, that seeing eye. I love that design when Andrew does it. He put it in a number of art pieces and collages, but he rarely puts that image on things that are like $14. So I thought for sure that was going to be one of the first ones to go. Andrew said that's the robin. The robin. It is a robin. I'm terrible at looking at things and knowing what they are. That's, I'm like, this is some kind of a songbird, right? Some little songbird. And then his owls. So these are the ones that are still available. These are sold up here, and these are still available here. And they're really cool. I think these would go really well. Like some people get these because they are not bone, but they look like bone. House sparrow. That's what the word I was trying to find in my head. I was thinking house wren, but I was like, that's not right. House sparrow. Um, um, they look like carved bone, but they're not. They're a vegetable. They're not an animal. So for people who, if you're making jewelry for people who don't like bone or don't want to wear that, these are really good alternatives that give that same kind of look, but it's completely vegetable, not animal. And so really good for that kind of thing. And it says we have some sparrows building a nest in front of the window. Nice. There was a dove in front. There was a dove on the porch today, up on the wood railing of the porch, and Gertie loved it. She was looking at it and talking about it so hard, chirping about it. It was really cute. So these ones are currently still available. And yeah, hopefully people like these and want to grab them and get them all. Oh, Leslie just got the rabbit. Okay, thank you so much. So that rabbit has sold. Sold. Thank you. Appreciate that. And so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them only left. Andrew says, I don't know if I'll be able to make more of these until I can source more. There's a few that are smaller or have a middle internal crack. Yeah, he pulled this from a vintage necklace. It used to be that Togwanut was like, you couldn't go to a bead show without seeing Togwanut everywhere. And now it's getting harder and harder to find a good source at a decent price. It used to be like people practically giving it away. We should have bought up quantities of it then. But I mean, we did buy a bunch and sell a bunch, but should have stored some away because it's harder to find good sources for it now at reasonable prices. I feel like it's like it was in fashion and so it was everywhere, and then it kind of fell out of fashion, and now it's like harder and harder to find. So yeah, don't know, but yep. So that is that. Do y'all like these? Y'all like them? Hopefully you do. Hopefully you like them and enjoy them. Everybody's being quiet. Marianne says, okay, I bought the robin. Okay. Thank you, Marianne. So the robin, that one is now sold. Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you. All right. And let's see. Oh, did another one just sell? This one just sold too. Thank you so much. Andrew says the middle internal crack is natural, not a defect. Yeah, it's natural, but it's hard, people think there's something wrong with it, but that's the way it is. Thank you. Somebody just grabbed that one too. Okay, let me see. I think now, yes, we have this owl still available. We have the dove still available, or pigeon. Still the eye, the flower eye has not sold. The house sparrow, this owl, and this owl. That's all that's available now. Thank you so much. That's nice. I like when Andrew's things sell. They deserve to be sold. Deserve to be sold. Andrew says some of the backs on these have a little of the crack. I didn't even notice that. So I didn't take pictures of the back though. Andrew said there is another house spare. Oh, like this. I see. There's a little crack. That's just the way it is. That's natural in the nut itself. Andrew said there's another house sparrow. So there's another house sparrow. This one, another one of those that didn't get put up into the online because I didn't see it because the cats knocked it off the table today. And says, I love the new techniques Andrew is doing. The results are so good. Andrew said they're all hand painted. You hand painted them too? See, I didn't even know that. And then I waxed them and oiled them. See, I didn't know there was all that. See, I didn't even put that in the description because I didn't know. I didn't know that was done to them all. So see that? Kimberly says, I just picked up the 2 drop-shaped owls to go with my others. Thank you. So let's see here. Drop-shaped owls means this one and this one, I'm guessing, right? Yes. So those have sold out now. Thank you. Thank you. So again, that one is available. This one is available. This one is available. And this one is available. So those are the only 4 that are available. And so there's a lot of things not good. And it says, yeah, that's why my hand looked like I shit on it. Andrew, he came up, I think I told you all this. He came up from the bathroom yesterday and showed me his hand, and it had brown stuff all over his hand. And I said, what? What did you do? And it horrified me a little bit because he ran over to the sink then to wash it. I'm like, what are you doing? And apparently it was because of that. I blame Gunner's Prandy. I don't know what that is. That is. All right. But these are still, so 4 now, well, 5 now technically left, but 4 online because I didn't get the 5th one online. But these ones are still available if anybody wants to grab them. $14 each. And get them now before the shipping prices on everything goes up. Did you hear about that? There's going to be an 8% surcharge on all shipping. Starting, I think it starts April 1st. I don't think it's started yet, until January at least, because of fuel surcharges. It's the first time, I think, in the USPS history that they are putting a surcharge on things because of fuel. Andrew says, he was my printmaking teacher, and he showed me a technique to wipe excess ink paint using the palm of my hand. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, Gunner's Prandy. I don't remember hearing that name. And says, I was sweating it out at the beginning of the drop because I was trying to order on my phone on a bus, slow as molasses. Well, we appreciate it. Glad hopefully you got the ones that you wanted, and was able to do that. And like I said, these 4, it looks like, are still currently available if anybody wants to grab them. Oh, Jennifer just got a dove. A mourning dove shows up for me at special times. Also, they live in my yard. So that one right there. So that one is now sold. So just those 3 left online. Thank you so much. That makes me feel good. I'm glad we showed them because they're really, really beautiful pendants. And I love, like, you can almost see, they're almost like a wood texture. Like, can you see that in there? They have a beautiful kind of almost like a wood grain to them. And it's just really, really lovely in color, and just such beautiful technique. Let's see. Andrew said it has oils and is soft, so it removes excess and doesn't leave fibers like certain paper towels. Nice. And it says, I did get the ones I wanted, but honestly, with this type of technique, it is the overall look. So if my faves sold, I'd still get 1 or more. Thank you. Yeah, it's really pretty, right? And yeah, I can understand that because honestly, I would like to make something with any of these. I think they're really nice. Len says, wonder if it happened last time with Iran in the 70s. The article I read said it is the very first time they have ever added a surcharge because of fuel. That's the article I read. And said they've never had to do a surcharge like that before, but they are doing it now. Kimberly says they are a unique material, and Andrew's art on Andrew's art on them. Yes, please. Thanks, Kimberly. Congratulations to Andrew on a very successful art drop tonight. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was good. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. All right. Now, let's see if y'all want anything else, because I picked out some fun stuff, I think. Some fun stuff. Okay. Moving these over then. And Let's see. Andrew says, goodness, I hope it's not like last time. They had rolling blackouts and fuel shortages. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we're in for. We're just going to keep trying to do the best we can and go with it. Who's ready, says Lynn, right? Who's ready? Andrew hasn't done that in a while. Who's ready? Let's see here. What number, letter? Let's do TRE, lots. TRE, lots. I don't think I've done that. Just type it in here and make sure nothing pops up. No, we're good. TRE, lots. We're going to start out tonight. This was 18. I'm going to bring it down to, let's bring it down to 12. TRE 1. This is a, come on. This is a set of beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Some of these are carnelian, some of them are quartz, and these are ancient beads, ancient quartz, ancient carnelian, excavated in Mali near Timbuktu in Djinn. So very old. And you get 8 of them. They are small, but they are cute. And they're really pretty in color. And we had them at 18. We're going to do a very special price at $12 on them. Ancient quartz and ancient carnelian, excavated near Timbuktu. And where is my, do I have my calipers? Or are they downstairs? Thought I brought them back up here. Maybe they're still downstairs. Let me give you an idea. These are about 8 millimeters, we'll say. About 8 millimeters. Let me get the penny out. There's the penny. Susan says, I was in middle school during the Arab oil embargo. There was serious talk of finding a way to stop our oil dependence. Big oil killed that. I bet they did. I bet they did real quick. Real quick. Yeah. We can't have anything nice, can we? Can you imagine if we would have done that back then? A little bit wild, right? What it would have, the difference life could have been like. Oh, did we just sell? Sorry, I'm getting distracted, y'all. Getting distracted. We just sold this one. Thank you so much. That one has sold. And did we just sell another one? And the flower with the eye. We sold that one. Thank you so much. So I think this owl and the one that I didn't actually get into the online store, I think are the only ones left. Let me check and make sure that we didn't. Yeah, this owl is still left. And the one I never put in the online store because the cat's knocking on the floor. So that's the only thing left in the drop tonight. Thank you all so much for that. We really, really appreciate it. That makes my heart happy. Andrew's work is being seen and people like it. Let's see here. Leslie says, no, we can't until we get rid of all the greedy people. Yeah, right. Len says, sad at one point we led the world in solar technology, then they tanked it. I didn't even know we did that. So there you go. At least we did at one point, right? Maybe we can get back to that someday. or do something. The wave is coming, right? The wave is coming. All right. We have these. I feel like tonight I'm starting out the night of little beads. The night of little beads. We had these at 20. I'll do them at 18. These are Angela Arrier lampwork glass. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 beads for $18. Angela Arrier lampwork glass. Look at this one. Look how pretty that one is. And then this one, look at that. Ooh, a little peppermint on there. And I love this kind of little opalescent periwinkle. And then you get these kind of, these kind of melons or flowers in like 4 different sizes. And then a nice white round, 2 white rondelles, I mean. And then another slightly periwinkle one. You get the little purple amethyst-like one. And then this one. So that's TRE2, $18 for the whole set of those. Artisan lampwork beads, Angela Arrier, Erier, I believe. All right. Let's see here. TRE3. This is $8. And this is a polymer clay bead by Rebecca Watkins. Rebecca Watkins, polymer clay. Beautiful bead. And I have a few of these. They're slightly, of course, they're slightly different, but I'm going to put them together because I think they are similar enough that you're not going to necessarily want one over the other. If you do, you can let me know. But we have them here, and they are approximately 23 millimeters by 25 millimeters. And so I think I brought 3 of these. TRE3, 3 of them available, $8 each. That's a really good price for those. Oops. I have, this is a smaller one. I'm going to leave that one aside for now. It's slightly smaller. These are pretty much the same size. Rebecca Watkins, polymer clay, artisan made beads. Let's do a real good price on this. TRE4. And this is a lot of bone beads. And these are carved bone, kind of floral, or I don't know. And we're back. So what I was saying is, if you don't mind mixing the bone with these, it's a really good kind of palette to use together. And so, like mixing these together, just to show you a few of them, like look how well they go with the bone beads. And we've just sold 4, so that is sold out. Thank you so much. I'll put that away. And put this in here. And I'm trying to see here if I have, because somebody also asked if Tiger Eye would go well with these. And I was saying that it could go really well with it, especially if you get some of the ones with more of the brown. I'm trying to see if I have any Tiger Eye laying around up here, but I don't think I do. But if you mix like the bone together and the tiger eye, especially if you had some of the ones that have like the black or dark brown around the edge, like could pull out some of the brown in a tiger eye, it could be really, really pretty. I think it'd be a pretty combo. Let's see, what do I have here next? About this one. TRE5. These are some more bone beads. Our hints is another 2 times. I know we went out twice. We'll see what happens. More bone beads. This time, I don't want to dump them all out, but it's a whole bag of these bone tubes. And it says, oh, I have some beautiful tiger eye. Good idea. Yeah, I thought it was a really good idea too. If you mix some, especially like if you pull some of this bone up into a necklace, and then like pull bone and pull tiger eye together, I think it could really blend really beautifully together. These are little, oops, these are little tubes. They're carved bone tubes. And you get the whole bag of those. I'm going to put them back in the bag though, because they are harder to pick up. You get the bag of those for $5. Kimberly says, I was leaning toward turquoise and Red Creek jasper. That would be really nice too, right? Turquoise and Red Creek jasper. I could definitely see that. There's a lot of combinations you could do with these. You know, I think the colors, let me see what I've got. What do I have around here? Here, I just happen to have some beautiful garnets. Nobody bought these garnets, so they're still sitting here. Let me show you. Like I think this red color, like a garnet color, look how pretty that would be. I think that's really pretty. And then, and aren't those garnets beautiful? Nobody grabbed any of those before when we had them. Couldn't believe it. Oh, how about variances? Amber and garnet would be nice too. Yep. How about some of this? Some smoky quartz. Look at that. Mix that smoky quartz with that. How pretty that would be. So smoky quartz would go really, really well with those pendants. That's the micro-faceted smoky quartz. And what else do I have that might look nice together? So much stuff could look really nice together. I think you could go with some nice, like deep blues. Blue tiger eye would look awesome, says Susan. Yeah, absolutely. This is the this is iolite. Like, look at that beautiful iolite with that. Super pretty. So lots of different colors, lots of things, because it's a nice basic. I hate saying basic. I know Andrew hates when I say basic. It's a good neutral. It's a good neutral color. Len says, I like the smoky quartz. Dress them up, dress them down. Those pendants are a neutral and go with everything. Exactly. Exactly. So lots of different things you could all do with them. For those of you who grabbed them, thank you for grabbing them. I won't spend too much more time. I wish I had Tiger Eye here. Whoops, I'm throwing things around, but I don't see any Tiger Eye here with me right now. So sorry about that, but it would be beautiful. I know it. Let's see here. Smoky quartz is pretty too. So is the, I'm guessing that was iolite. So is the iolite. Would look good with gold or brown pearls. Oh my goodness, yes. Usually I have like an abundance of pearls around me. Well, you know what I do have? I have this brooch of Andrew's just to show you how beautiful it would go with all the different color pearls. Look at that. So there you go. Beautiful with pearls. Okay. All right. Let me continue on so I'm not keeping you all here all night long. TRE6. These are $5. And these are carved bone rounds. You get the whole lot of those carved bone rounds. And again, just to show you the various colors. It says, oh dear, too many gorgeous choices, right? Since it's Sai, I meant iolite, autocorrects my, not my friend. I figured. So lovely. You've got the lot of carved bone rounds. These rounds come in at around 10 millimeters, 10, 11 millimeters. And you get the lot of carved bone TRE6. Kimberly says, so thankful I ordered multiples. We are too. Thank you so much. We are too. These are super cool. These were $14. I'll give you a discount today on these. We don't normally, these are from the store. We don't normally do discounts on too much, but since we almost sold out of Andrew's pendants, we'll do some extra discounts. This is vintage resin. And these are these cool blue vintage resin kind of drops. It's a really cool strand. Vintage resin beads. And the beads themselves are about 14 by 9 millimeters. And we only have one strand of those. Only ever got one strand of those. TRE7. Lennon says faceted bronze pearls on the website. Oh yes, we've got beautiful faceted pearls on the website, not just bronze. We've got so many beautiful faceted pearls. We've got some of those brown blue pearls. They're so pretty. Oh, Leslie's going away. Having a good night. Good night, everyone. You have a good weekend too, Leslie. Thank you so much, and good luck getting all those packages packed up and out. We're glad that we could help send people over to you. We love, love, love sharing the love. If anybody needs Seed Beads, make sure you go see her website, Twisted Sister Beads. And go follow her. Go follow her. Subscribe to her on YouTube too. Try and get that channel up and running, right? We've just sold 7 multiple times. Thank you so much. Let me put 7 away. Thank you. Thank you. All right. TRE8. This is another thing. Let me make sure. Yeah. This, it kind of looks like African glass. That's why I had to actually take a close look. It's vintage resin. They look like the African recycled glass. Normally this is also 14. This is a big strand, but I'm still going to bring it down to 10 or to 12. I can't go to 10. I can bring it down to 12 for you. Kimberly says peanut butter and sugar toast hit the spot. Nice. Nice. Glad somebody's out there enjoying. But these are kind of they're kind of lopped off cubes. I love them so much. And they're such a pretty color. They're kind of like that African recycled glass color, that typical color you see. And they're so cool. And they are approximately, let me see if I can get this on here, 15 millimeters. 15 millimeters. 1 strand of those available as well. TRE8. This is an artisan set by Joan Miller. Susan's, oh, kind of table cut. Yeah, they kind of are, right? It's kind of, if that were checked glass, that'd be called table cut. They're super cool. And it's a rounded cube to begin with, and then it's kind of table cut out. Super cool. I like it a lot. This is a Joan Miller porcelain set. TRE9. $5 only. Super cool. Joan Miller. And Susan's asking, are they lightweight? These are super lightweight. Yes. Super lightweight. Like this barely weighs anything. All of this together. Each bead, easy for earrings. Each bead would be super easy for earrings. I wouldn't even question it. You could probably put 2 or 3 beads and most people would be comfortable in earrings. They're pretty lightweight. This is TRE9. Let me give you sizes on this. This is about 13 millimeters. Oh, we just sold 9, so I'll continue just letting you know. 13 millimeters, and with the bail on this one, you're at about 24 millimeters. So that is sold. Thank you so much. TRE10. We've got another Joan Miller set. TRE10. And this one is also $5. And this is a cutie. Nice bright orange set. Got the glass there and there. And this one, a little bit smaller, I think. Overall, this bead is 9 millimeters. And with the bail, this one is about 21. TRE10. Joan Miller. And I'm not sure who this is. Andrew might know. We had this at 32. I'm going to make it 30. Bring it down a little bit. I don't want to decrease it too much. Oh, we just sold 10. Thank you so much. Let me put that away. And this is this polymer clay. And it was 32, taking it down to 30. Really beautiful polymer clay bead. I love like the internal textures in there underneath, like the layers that this gives. Pam Wynn. I'm going to write that on here so I don't forget in case it doesn't sell. Pam Wynn. Just a beautiful bead. Gorgeous color. That would go, I think, really well with Tiger Eye or, again, Apatite, like a neon Apatite or a blue Apatite. Could be really pretty. If you got on our website, if you got those faceted brown pearls that Len was talking about, they would bring out that internal glow in this so well. That would be I wish let me see, hold on. Do I have any of them here? Checking Andrew's stash over here to see. I don't think that I do. But I was going through our pearls in the online store the other day and I pulled them out and I was like, I cannot believe, I got to get better pictures of these because I cannot believe people are not eating these up at the price that they are. Especially like during sales, when we have sales. Don't be checking too hard. I'm not checking I'm not trying to steal anything. I'm just trying to see if there's any pearls that I can put these with to show. All right. That's Tier 11. Oh, I didn't give you size. Let me give you the size on this. This baby is 55 by 23. 55 by 23. 55 by 23. And, oh, I should give you thickness on this one too, because it's a little bit thicker by about 15. 55, 23, 15. Andrew says they're on the ground in between the desks near the purple plastic container. I don't know if I can get around right now because we moved the lamps and everything around here. I kind of got myself backed into a corner. But anyway, maybe I'll grab some and take a look if this doesn't sell. And says, surprised the Italian glitter beads are still there. Which Italian glitter beads? Okay, let's see here. TRE. On the website? I even forget what's on the website sometimes. These are $5 each. There are 4 of them available. I think, I can't remember if these are these Heather, Andrew? These are polymer clay butterfly beads. Lynn says on the website. Yeah. TRE12, $5 each, 4 of them available. And said those flapper necklaces. You said there's also some along the closet door. Okay, let me see if I can get over there. I have to move this lamp. Remember, we moved the lamp out of the corner and put it right beside the desk. Let me see if I can get by. Okay. Now, hunting down. Over there. There they are. Okay. Now, if I can get back around here without knocking everything over, that's the important part. Okay. Oh, these are vintage polymer from Peru. Okay. So not Heather's. I don't know why I was thinking lower. Vintage polymer from Peru. Get back. Hold on. Let me get my blanket situated again. And myself all tucked in here so I don't freeze. Okay. Tier E12, vintage polymer from Peru. And they are approximately about 15 by 15 millimeters. The holes go through them top to bottom this way, down through the center. Super cool butterflies. TRE 12, $5 each, 4 of them available. So these are not the faceted ones, but these are a pretty coppery brown pearl. And so here, look at that. Look at that, y'all. How beautiful is that? Stunningly beautiful. So there's an idea for y'all. Andrew says that looks spendy. I know, right? And so let me tell you, this strand of pearls was $48. The bead is $30. Altogether, that wouldn't be much. But you can get pearls on our website that are faceted like this instead of smooth. They're beautiful. They're a little bit darker in color. They have more of like that kind of flash to them even. And they look like that because they're carved into, so that looks just like that or very similar. And they are less. They're like, I don't know, 28 a strand or something like that. Pam is Heather Milliken's mom, Andrew said. Yeah, Pam Wynn. So very nice together. This is, I don't think these are, let me see. Even these are nice. If you do with the peacock. Because there's those beautiful brown tones in there. I like it. I don't know. I kind of like that. Think I like it with the coppery ones better, but those would work too. And then there was that one weird strand of pearls. Somebody bought it. That was like the brown coppery color, but also had a blue tint to it. Is a very strange strand of pearls. Somebody owns it. And I bet that would be amazing because of the brown and blue in this. All right. Anyway, let's continue on. Somebody's really trying hard to get in this room with me. I don't know if it's Barnaby or Gilbert. Andrew said people used to think Heather's name was Heather Wynn because I used to call her by her first and last name. Yeah, when I first met Andrew, he called many people by their first and last name. So I had to kind of get used to that. I knew people, but I did know people's first and last name because of that. It was just a thing he did. How's your Friday night going, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with us and joining us tonight. Marianne went into lurker mode. Who is out there? Who's trying to get in? Susan said, "Oh, let's have a kitty moment." That would take me running around the room again. So I'm going to say, unfortunately, no on that one. But somebody's trying really hard to get in this door. It sounds like Barnaby, but some of the cats have. Barnaby has this very light scratch on the door, like he barely scratches the door, and they're kind of. I used to know for sure that it was Barnaby trying to get in, but now some of them are starting to mimic him because they know that I'm a sucker for letting him in, so they start to mimic his knock or his scrape, and now I don't know for sure if it's him or not. It's kind of cute, but they're not dumb, that's for sure. Susan said, I used to do the first and last name thing too a long time ago. Andrew says, I sometimes do it now, but not as much. Yeah. There are still people that we talk to each other. We call them by their first and last name because that's how we just know them. This was 18. I'm bringing it down to 14 for you all. This is African recycled glass. No one confuses Gertie. Yeah, Gertie rattles the doorknob. She jumps up and rattles the whole doorknob. She has a very particular way of trying to get in, making the loudest noise possible and crying. She's a little thing, but she makes the most noise. I love this recycled glass because it's a multicolor. It's green and brown. These are African beads, one strand available. TRE13 was $18 for the strand, now 14. Andrew says Cat Merrick. Yeah, Cat Merrick was another one. Says, goodness, if she ever changes her name. I know. Heather Wynn was a hard one. She changed her name and still haven't adapted completely. TRE14. Okay. Oh, Kimberly says, I still have chills. Yeah, it's cold. Andrew says TRE6 would look good with my Tagua nut pendants. Yeah, that's what I paired them. I showed. Somebody grabbed the carved ones, but nobody grabbed these. Nobody grabbed the large hole rounds. And so those, look at that. Andrew says it's only taken 20 years to get it right. I know, right? Been married for a long time now. Susan says, Kimberly, this wild weather isn't helping either. It's either too hot or too chilly in a short time frame. That's for sure. Kimberly says 100%, Susan. All right, the next one. This is another artisan bead pair. You've got this kind of floral design on one, and then relax, unwind, and enjoy on the other. I don't know who the maker is. Again, if Andrew knows or if anybody knows, let me know. Len says, my friend has changed his name 3 times and I struggle. I bet 3 times. That's a lot of name changing. That's also a lot to go through, like the legal process of changing your name 3 times. Can't even imagine. And so these ones are approximately 13 millimeter. 13 millimeters. Those are Groovy beads, says Kimberly. Groovy beads, Natalie, says Len. I've been headachy, says Andrew. Yeah, the weather has not been easy. So Groovy, everybody says that. G-R-U-B-B-I. Groovy beads. Thanks. Andrew says, in theory, I know, but I can't remember. We've got two confirmations on that. It says, oh, y'all got it. Groovy beads. So there they are, $10 for the pair of those. That'd be a pretty springtime set, says Susan. Yes, it would, right? And good, relax, unwind, and enjoy. Don't we all need to do that? We all need to take that prescription. Relax, unwind, and enjoy for a little bit. I think that's a good message. All right, let me put some of these away because I am running out of desk space. Let me find the correct bags for the correct things. This one goes in here. Someone scratching on the door. Okay. These are the ancient quartz and carnelian, excavated in Mali. Only $12 now instead of 18. Those little donuts, cute little things. And then we've got the Angela Arrier Lamport glass set. And that is TRE2, only $18 instead of 20. And then we got the Rebecca Watkins, $8 each. Whoa, polymer clay beads. Oh, it's Andrew says it's not Gertie. I'm holding her. No, it's a gentle scraping. So it's either Gilbert or it's Barnaby. And then TRE5, the bone tubes. Nobody wants the bone tubes. $5. And let's see here. These are the bone rounds, large hole. And those are $5 as well. Gilbert is down here. So it must be Barnaby. It must be actually Barnaby trying to get in. Now I feel bad not letting my boy in. Should let him in. And I'm going to put these away. TRE8 still available. These are these really cool vintage resin. $12 on sale. G Crew, Gertie and Gilbert. Seven, 8 goes there. I'm going to move 11 down here. That's the Pam Wind bead. Move 12 up here. Move 13 up here. And 14 has sold. So let me put 14 away. That's the Groovy beads. Thank you. Thanks for naming and thanks for grabbing. All right. TRE15. And Golden Daddy. Of course, Golden Daddy. Gertie Gilbert Golden Daddy. Here, let me see if that's Barnaby. Let me see. I know everyone will want to see Barnaby. Let's see if I can get around here. Kind of move this over a little. Come on. Is that you? You want to come in with me? Come on. Come on, before everyone else comes. Come on. We're on camera. Come on. don't want to? Come on, get in here with me. Get in here with me. Come on, everybody wants to see Barnaby. Everybody wants to see Barnaby. There we go. Everybody wants to see Barn. Okay. Here, let's see if we can flip the camera here real quick. Where are you, Barn? There you go. Oh, there he is. There's my buddy. Oh, see? Everybody wanted to see you. Everybody wanted to see you. They kept telling me, let him in, let him in. Huh? Okay. Get under the cover. Get under the cover. Help me stay warm. Help me stay warm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good boy. Okay. Okay. There we go. Anne says, hi, baby boy. It is my baby boy. Huh. Oh, he's giving me so many kisses. I'm getting so many kisses. Okay. All right. What did Andrew say? Oh, yes. Someone sent me a present to pick up my spirits. I don't know if you're watching, but thank you. If you are, I have to send a thank you. Because Andrew had mentioned the other day that I wasn't feeling great, and somebody grabbed some stuff from my wish list, from my birthday wish list still. So that was so nice. I got a package in the mail. Come, Barn. Yeah, we're very lucky, aren't we? We are. We're lucky to have so much love around us. Susan says, what a little sweetie. He is. He's my buddy. He's my buddy. Huh. Yeah, sit down here, bud. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that, everybody? He's purring so hard. Gertie doesn't like this, says Andrew. She's meowing at the phone. He's not been feeling good today. Weather changes are hard on him. Yeah, they're hard on his asthma, huh, buddy? He's doing okay. We just haven't had our time together yet, huh? No. He usually goes downstairs when I am when I take my shower, and he gets to go downstairs, and then he rests in his man cave for a while. We haven't gotten to do that yet, huh? Man, you're purring so good, my buddy. Okay, we gotta get on with this show, though, Barn, huh? We gotta show the people some things. You can help me? Oh, you're a good man, Barnaby. Barnaby Thornton Jones. All right. Yeah. All right. We've got these wooden beads, beautiful tubes, and these were $14 for the strand, now 10. And I think these, depending on what you pair them with too, could look really nice. If you use some wooden beads and bone beads in there, they could be really nice with these pendants as well. Kind of tried to pull some things, like even these I had in my head as I was pulling these, that you could pair these together with some of the brown tones in there. think those are really pretty. So you got some nice options with things. These beads are approximately 30 by 8 millimeters or so, 30 by 8. Get yourself situated there, bud. Can you go under the cover? Under there? Barnaby does like a cover cave. Do any of your cats like cover caves? Barnaby loves a cover cave. He tries to bury himself under the covers with me, but he only does it for like 30 minutes and then he's ready to come out. He gets too hot or something. Oh, but all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had these at $15. They were $3 each. I'll bring them down to 12. TRE 16. This is a beautiful lampwork glass springtime set of beads. Beautiful lampwork glass springtime beads. And these, again, like I said, I tried to pull some stuff with these in mind. These have this kind of warm brown tone in some of these little flowers. And I thought those could go really well with those pendants too. Look how pretty. So that's TRE 16. And these are approximately 20 by just about 20 by 18 or so. And you get all 5 of them for $12. TRE 16. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are African glass, African trade beads. And and I don't know how many I have, but I have a few sets of these available. They're $5 per 10 beads. So 50 cents a bead. And they look like this. They're super cool. They look like sodalite, but again, with that brown beigey color to them. So if you are playing, depending on what you want to incorporate, you have these TRE 17, $5 for 10 beads, multiple lots available. I have a little bag of them here and I can separate them out. Oh, we just sold 16. Thank you, thank you. Let me put that one away. That's the lamp work. I had a feeling $12 those should sell, right? They're really pretty beads. I don't know who made them, but they're really pretty. I'm gonna move 17 up here. Sorry, these kind of blend into the indigo cloth we have. And I have another grouping of those, similar, $5 per 10 beads, and multiples of those. And they look like this. Like this. African trade beads. And that's TRE 18, $5 for 10 beads. Various size on those. These are more uniform in size, a little more uniform in size. These other ones are a little bit varied, more varied. TRE 18. Anybody have any shows they're going to be watching tonight? Heading into the weekend? Anybody have any updates on their shows coming up? All right. These are also $5. And we have TRE 19. And I have 10 of these. And you know what? I have 3 left. So I'm going to throw in a bonus 3. So you get 13 beads for $5 on that one. And they look like that. Throwing in that little bonus. Those are super cool. $5 on that. Really good price. Less than 50 cents each. TRE 20. I cannot believe Andrew priced this $10. Susan said we watched Monster Quest on History Channel earlier today. What was the quest? What monster were they questing? What were they going after? This is an Andrew polymer clay bead wrapped in a copper foil and decorated. It's actually a pendant. The hole goes through the top like that. Copper foil on polymer clay, signed by Andrew. Nice big pendant. And this one is about 24 by 60. 24 by 60. Look at these two big beads. Polymer clay. 30 for this one, 10 for this one. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of these away. A number of monsters: Mothman, Bigfoot, Florida skunk ape, and a few others. So they hunt multiples in a show? I guess I've never seen that show, so I guess I don't understand the full premise of that. I thought each one was like a separate hunting expedition or something. I guess that's not the case. Oh, April's doing her casting class again. These are the Peruvian polymer clay. I'm going to write that on here so I know. Vintage Peruvian. Anne says, my mom and I are behind on our shows. Probably start to get caught up tomorrow. I'm starting to stay over some nights, so we'll have more time. That's nice. I mean, I know it's not necessarily ideal, but that's nice you get to do that and spend time. Nobody grabbed the African glass. I thought they would. This is really pretty. TRE 13. TRE 15 is the Patagon wood beads, as Len said. Some of the History Channel shows have 4 or so segments per episode. Wow. Okay. That's definitely okay. That's kind of cool, though. I guess it helps probably keep people's attention to have jumping from segment to segment. We've been watching the Anomalous Society. Yes, we have. Every night, generally, we watch an Anomalous Society video. Helps Andrew get inspired. And I learn a lot too. This Andrew might have to help me on that one. It's a vintage glass. It was 32. I'll bring it down to 24. Andrew says, my work study is supposed to come on Tuesdays, so I don't know. The Tuesday talks are in the middle of the class. Oh. You're going to miss your Anomalous Society stuff. You're going to have to watch it later. Old check, Andrew says. Okay. I thought it was check. I wasn't sure. Old check was 32 for the Strand, now 24, which is a dang good deal. And says, we're watching Project Runway, I think, season 20. Is that the newest one? Is that the one? Because they interviewed, oh, why did I just blank on his name? I have Tim Cook in my head, and that is the Apple CEO, not Make It Work, and Tim Gunn. And they interviewed him, and they asked him why he wasn't in the latest season, and they said, "Well, I wasn't asked." So I didn't like that. So I kind of, I do like that show, but I don't like that. Like they just kind of apparently just never asked him to come back. He was very blatant about that. Like they just never asked me. What Jennifer say? Said, I love that pale, pale green. Me too. Me too. And these beads, though they are slightly different in size, is 15 millimeters by, let's say 13. 15 by 13. Anne says, yes, I found that off-putting too. Who gets rid of Tim Gunn? I know. And I know, like, he hasn't, because Christian was on, right? I know he hasn't been on for a few seasons. I don't know when that all happened. If it was like, because I think they're coming out with a new one. I don't know. I don't know when it all happened, but I finally saw that interview where he flat out came out and said, they just never asked me. And I was like, but he was like the good part of the show. Let's see here. Fright Nights, like tonight I listened to some jazz program in my local classical station, says Susan. Nice. I'm guessing that's Friday nights. Friday nights. Andrew says, well, when he and Heidi left, Christian took over for him. But when they brought back Heidi, Christian didn't leave. And say Christian Siriano is hosting. Heidi isn't there either, says Len. What? I thought Heidi came back. I thought that was the whole big thing, was that Heidi came back. Now I'm confused. Because my whole thing is they asked Heidi to come back, but didn't ask Tim Gunn to come back. And I was like, that's not very nice. But if Heidi isn't there, that's news to me. Okay. These are older African glass. These are like an antique African. We had some of these the other night. Somebody grabbed them up real quick. But these are a different set of these. These are an antique African, 1700s to 1800s. This is, and like I said before on the other ones, sometimes these have little nicks or dents. That's part of their charm for being old. And then we have these ones. What did Andrew say? So she comes back in season 21. They had Alicia Silverstone on the first one. So Christian is hosting. She comes back in season 21. So much going on. And then you get these. And then this one. Season 21 was over the summer. Okay. I didn't know there was one where Christian hosted completely, though. I don't think. Did we watch that? Where Christian hosted it? I don't know what's going on. I do like that show. Andrew got me into that a long time ago when we first got together. Anne says, I really like the newish Alicia Silverstone show, Irish Blood. I don't know that show. This is TRE 22, $26. You know what? I think did I give a little? I'll do them for 24. I think I gave a little discount yesterday. Was it yesterday that I had these or the day before? I'll give a little one on that one too. TRE 22, $24. And says, I hope it has a second season. Irish Blood. I'll have to look that up because I don't know that one. All right, next up, this is a pendant by Harry Wood, TRE 23, $8. And this is that. It's a bird head pendant. And it says, I think it's on Acorn. Okay. We used to watch Acorn. I don't know if we still watch Acorn, if we still have Acorn. Susan says, what is Irish Blood about? Yeah, what's it about? This is, you can see the eye, the bird eye up here, and then the beak, and some decorative elements. It is one-sided, but the pendant, the hole goes through this way, and it would hang like this. That's by Harry Wood. They got rid of Elaine Welteroth and Brandon Maxwell. We don't have Acorn. I didn't think we had it anymore. That's 40 millimeters by about 18 on that. 40 by 18. Her character, let's see here. Her character's father is Irish, and some mystery happened when she was a child and she never saw him again. Then she gets a message from him and goes to Ireland. She's a lawyer. Huh. Did we ever finish the newest Matlock, Andrew? We were watching that when Ren was here, right? I don't know if we ever finished that. I found this little grouping of keys. TRE 24, $7. And it's this little group of key charms. and pendants. So you get this one and this one and a bunch of these little ones in various colors, materials, mostly a dark, like a black gunmetal, but also a antique silver color. Get all those. TRE 24, $7 for the whole grouping of them. And we had some red drop check glass the other night. People wanted red drops. And I found these red cubes, I guess, elongated. I don't know. What do you want to call these? Losing words. Found these, and I thought they might be nice for people who got some of the red drops if they want to use these. But they are rectangles. Rectangle's a good word, right? 3D rectangle? I don't know. They are vintage check. They are about 5 millimeters by about 10, 5 by 10 millimeters, one strand available, TRE 25. We just sold 24. Thank you so much. Let me put that away. The keys have sold. Juicy red, says Jennifer. It's a nice red. It really is a pretty red color. All right, let me put some of these away to make a little bit of room before we carry on. Those look like candy, says Andrew. I know, right? Nobody grabbed any of these. These are so pretty. I love them. Okay. $5 for 10 of those. Sometimes people don't like what I like. It's all right. All right, and these are okay. These are okay. The other ones are more my style. Just finished the new season of Grace based on the novels by Peter James. I think they filmed 8 novels so far, says Len. I don't know that one either. I know you've mentioned, I think you mentioned that one before. You don't know it. 17, 18, there we go. 19. Either way. Anne's asking what channel is Grace on. I think I have it on one of my lists. And let's put this one away. 20. Pendant by Andrew. And I'll move 21 down here. 22. Look at these greens together. I didn't do that on purpose, but aren't they nice together? Look at that. 23. 25. TRE 26. Britbox, says Len. TRE 26. these. These are these little crystal flower beads. And the holes, they're double hole. They go through like that. So 2 strands, beautiful crystal flowers. And these are approximately 12 millimeters. Let's see what's Andrew saying. Says, I'm trying to decide what to make for the Enamelist Society show. It says their theme is sgraffito, and I want to do a piece with different kinds of sgraffito. That's cool. And so they just got BritBox. I will check it out if I haven't already. And Len says you might check the library too. Andrew says I'm leaning towards a box or a house. What would y'all like to see Andrew make? A box or a house? That's a cool idea. Have you all been trying any new techniques in any of your work lately? Trying something different you haven't done before? We have these beautiful vintage sponge coral beads. And let me see here, what can I do on these? These were 28. I'll bring them down to 20. Got 2 of these. Andrew's asking, Anne, what size of paper do you use? What size of paper do you use? I know you mentioned you were looking at a paper shop. These are beautiful sponge coral beads, vintage. Lots of patterns in there. Beautiful tubes. Andrew says, I could do a figure, but it'd be tricky with enamel. Yeah, I think so, but you're good at that stuff too. Or good at that stuff more than me, that's for sure. 35 millimeters by 12. 35 by 12. Sponge coral vintage, TRE 27. Was $28, now 20. He's been researching dolls to see how they're put together. Like dolls in general, or a particular kind of doll? TRE 28. This is a necklace or a choker, but it's got these amazing gold colored beads. And I think these are vintage plastic that are electroplated. They're super light. And you get the whole necklace or strand of them for $6. I thought somebody just might like some big, light, gold colored beads. And these are about 15 millimeters. 15 millimeters. Nice big strand of those. TRE 28. Akira Blunt's dolls. And says, I think if I could figure out the welder, that'd help. I'd like to get a face shield so I don't go blind. Yes, that would be nice. That would be nice. Anne says, I get all sizes because we cut it up to fit whatever our project is. We usually buy 12 by 12, but we'll buy 8.5 by 11 too. And this new store had all different sizes. We just bought it if we liked it. Nice. Oh, buddy. Um, let's see here. Might we be seeing packs? I'm into it, says Anne. Packs of what? Seeing packs? TRE29. Packs of paper. Let's see. We had these at 8. I'll bring it down to 6. TRE29. Oh, Kim says I had craft circle at my house today, finishing up some pieces so I can justify buying more from AG. Thanks, Kim. Glad to see you here. I thought you were busy I thought you had mentioned you were going to be doing that. Andrew says the auto darkening welder helmet is on my wish list. Yeah, that would be a good thing, right? There are 2 smaller ones and 1 larger bead. This nice little lampwork glass bead set. Beautiful. $6. The smaller ones are about 12 by 15. And the bigger ones are about 12 by 16. Is that right? That can't be right. Yeah, they're not much different. But it's a little bit different. A millimeter makes a lot of difference. It's about a millimeter different each way. Anne says, I always love feeling justified in buying more. I buy more regardless, but it's even better when I feel justified, LOL. Andrew says, we got the welding jacket. Oh, nice. That self-darkening helmet would be nice because when the welder goes off, it auto darkens and then it lightens back up so you can see. It's kind of hard to see if you use just a purely dark one. We tried that and that was very difficult. This is an artisan made button. I don't know by who. TRE30. It's ceramic button. Really pretty. $8. We just sold 29, the glass set. Thank you so much. And it's a really pretty button. You can make it into a pendant, make it into a closure. This is about 32 by 21 millimeters. And that, friends, is the show for tonight. I hope you liked everything. Thank you all so much again for grabbing Andrew's pendants. If you missed that part of the show, we had an art drop from Andrew today where he had these tagua nut carved pendants that he made with his artwork on them. And then he inked them and wiped it back and then polished them up and sealed them up. The only one that is left so far is this one and one that I didn't get into the online store because the cat knocked it on the floor. So I think as long as this one hasn't sold out since the beginning of the show. Nope, we still have this one left. Anne says that flew by. I know, we've been talking so much, right? The time has just gone by so quick. That's why I love when everybody chats because it keeps me busy and the time goes by so fast. It is almost 10:30. Well, it is 10:30, which is wild to me. But thank you all for hanging out. It's been a great night. Thank you for purchasing Andrew's pendants and enjoying those. We're glad people enjoy them. And thank you for anybody who grabbed anything here tonight. I think we had some really fun stuff. This is one of my very favorite pieces tonight, and it is still available. TRE21. This very old check glass was $32, now $24. It's a really pretty color. But anyway, everyone have a great weekend. Susan said, everyone have a great weekend, and we hope we'll see you back here. I will be doing a D-Stash on Sunday night. So if you've not checked out the current D-Stash, please take a look at it before Sunday morning, because I will start when I get to the store on Sunday. That's one of the things I do on Sunday. Usually I try to, as long as I'm not too busy, is take down the old D-Stash posts and do the final round of invoicing for anything that was claimed this week. And then we'll start a new D-Stash event in the Andrew Thornton Project D-Stash group on Facebook on Sunday evening at 8 p.m. And again, I'm going to remind everybody, April 10th. April 10th, coming up very soon, is the book club meeting. So Inspired by Reading Book Club, we are reading The Glassmaker by Tracy Chevalier, and we will discuss the book, and we will also show off what we've made, and or start your project. It's okay if you start your project. It's okay. Let's see, what's everyone? Andrew says, if we go to the store on Sunday. Yeah, we might be in Pittsburgh. We'll see. Len says, sad I missed the pink and orange Monique beads in the old D-Stash. They were still available. Nobody claimed them. I couldn't believe nobody claimed them. They're beautiful. Andrew said, Modern Craft Market is this weekend, and I wanted to check it out. Yeah, we'll see. We might head up that way. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll be in Pittsburgh on Sunday. The store may be closed, but we'll let you know on the Allegory Gallery page if you're local and looking to come in. We'll let you know if we're closing or not. But other than that, everything is, yeah, everything's great. Have a great weekend, everybody. Len says, I want them. Okay, I will look for the photo, because I have the photos. I just have to find the photo and the number and all that. But I can send you an invoice for them if you want them. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. My voice is leaving me, so I'm going to leave you. Thank you. Have a great, great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you on Facebook on Sunday. And if not, we'll see you hopefully on the live on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great one, everybody.